Chapter 2951, Enlai's Transformation on Dragon King. I've recovered. I felt like I was dead just now. Enlai looked at Wang Xian and spoke with a miserable face. As he spoke, he looked at his own body and had the urge to vomit blood. My incomparably handsome face, how did it become like this? He screamed mournfully. Do you feel anything now? Wang Xian asked with a darkened face. Feeling? Enlai touched his body and examined it from head to toe. After which, he looked into the depths of the Devil's Cave. Dragon King, I feel a strong attraction from the depths of the Devil's Cave. He said. Is that so? Let's go over. Wang Xian moved and brought Enlai along as he flew inside. Tianjin was deep in thought as he followed behind. His eyes were flickering. Dragon King, that sacrificial altar is giving me a strong attraction, Gu Shenwei said. Enlai said as they neared the depths of the Devil's Cave. Wang Xian let go of him and looked at Enlai. Enlai stared at the altar. He moved and came to the sky above the altar, looking down. At this moment, the entire altar emitted a mysterious energy that surged towards Enlai. Enlai sensed this energy and slowly opened his arms. Waves of black energy mixed with blood-red energy flowed into his body. At the same time, the patterns on the altar disappeared rapidly. 5 minutes later, the entire altar seemed to have disappeared. The blood-red patterns on Enlai's body gave off a strange glow. It was as though he had become the altar. This is? Enlai's eyes widened as he stared at his body in shock. What's going on? Wang Xian stared at Enlai and asked. Dragon King, I have a special ability. Enlai swallowed his saliva and said. What ability? Wang Xian asked immediately. Dragon King, look. As Enlai spoke, he appeared on the right side of Wang Xian in the next moment. This caused his pupils to shrink slightly, and a look of shock appeared in his eyes. Teleportation. It was truly teleportation. It was as though time didn't exist. Enlai teleported from his side to his side. In the next moment, Enlai disappeared and appeared beside Tianjin. Dragon King, don't resist. As Enlai spoke, Wang Xian felt a surge of energy shrouding him. In the next moment he found himself in another Devil's Cave. What a fast teleportation, this. Tianjin's eyes widened and his face was filled with shock. What do you think, Dragon King? That's amazing. Teleportation, that's the special ability of the altar. Enlai roared excitedly. Tell me the details. Wang Xian's eyes flickered. Dragon King, I don't know why either. I just know that I can teleport. As long as my mind can react, I can teleport to another place without any time. There's something else that's very scary, and that's that it's not obstructed by objects. Enlai was so excited that he almost wanted to roar. Unobstructed by objects? Tianjin's heart skipped a beat. He waved his arm and an array formation enveloped Enlai. Buzz. The array formation enveloped Enlai, but in the next moment, Enlai instantly teleported out. Wang Xian and Tianjin exchanged glances and couldn't help but swallow a mouthful of saliva. Tianjin's array formation was a trapping array. Even a first-order god emperor wouldn't be able to escape from it. Yet, Enlai, a ninth-order god king, could escape in an instant. Is this what it means to be unobstructed by objects? To be unobstructed by anything? This ability is too insane. Teleportation that ignores array formations and objects. Unless it's a special attack, it's hard to kill him. If his strength increases, he'll be even more terrifying. Tianjin couldn't help but comment. Moreover, he can teleport with others. Is there a limit to the number of people you can teleport with? Wang Xian stared at Enlai and asked. I don't know, Dragon King. I don't know where the limit is either. However, teleportation with others isn't as simple as you think. Enlai said. Wang Xian looked at him. Dragon King, there's a condition to teleport with others. That's where the altar is. I can only bring people to the side of the altar. Enlai said. Wang Xian and Tianjin were deep in thought. Enlai's current transformation seems to be him becoming the carrier of the altar. However, the altar itself doesn't have any energy. It only has the characteristics of teleportation. Enlai was infected by the aura of the altar and was saved by Yi Chang Tai. Be it the energy of the altar or Yi Chang Tai, both are very unique. These two unique energies have formed his unique physique. He has this unique ability, active teleportation. His essence is still an altar that can teleport people. However, there's a condition for teleportation, which is the location of another altar. Tianjin said, Enlai, tell me about the method to summon demons. I have an experiment. Wang Xian nodded his head and said to Enlai, Yes, Dragon King. Enlai nodded his head and immediately imparted the method to summon demons to Wang Xian. To summon demons, an altar had to be built first. The altar was the same as the one in the Devil's Denver. The difference was that it didn't require special materials. All it had to do was contain energy. After the altar was built, fresh blood would be dripped on it. The stronger the blood, the stronger the demon would be summoned. However, it didn't mean that it could be summoned every time. In fact, it might not even succeed once in 100 attempts. This was because demons could choose whether they wanted to be summoned or not. Demons were summoned to conquer a part of the starry sky. If the summoner was too strong, they would not go over. Wang Xian simply built an altar and looked at Enlai. Dragon King, I can sense this altar. Although it's very weak, it can teleport people over. Enlai said immediately, In this case, we can catch them off guard. Wang Xian murmured, This ability is insane. For example, if we enter a powerful treasure land and there's a defensive array around it, it won't work on Enlai. Enlai can also teleport over, set up an altar, and then bring people over. Moreover, this kind of teleportation is much faster than returning to a god nation. With just a thought, he can teleport to another place. If we set up an altar in the Dragon Palace, Enlai can bring us back to the Dragon Palace in an instant even if we encounter danger or are trapped by an array, regardless of any obstacles. Tianjin's eyes flickered as he spoke. That should be the case. Enlai said with a grin, It's indeed insane. Wang Xian nodded his head solemnly. Chapter 2952. Enlai's mutation next. Enlai, how far can you go if you teleport now? Tianjin stared at Enlai and asked. My strength is too weak. I can only teleport within a radius of 100 million kilometers. But after I teleport to 100 million kilometers, I can continue teleporting another 100 million kilometers within this range. If I want to travel across the entire Lioli region, I might only need a few dozen seconds. Enlai grinned and said excitedly, This speed is unbelievable. If you want to kill someone, you can come to them with a single thought, kill them instantly, and leave? Wang Xian stared at him. This ability was too heaven-defying. He could do anything with just a thought, but he couldn't do it. To launch an attack, he had to gather his energy and release it. This required a process. But he didn't need a process. There was only a beginning and an end. If you evolve into a Spinosaurus, won't you be unbelievable? Wang Xian stared at him and asked again, Dragon King, there's no such good thing. If I evolve into a Spinosaurus, my energy will disappear. Moreover, I realized that it might be difficult for me to improve in the future. Enlai's face fell at the mention of improvement. If I want to improve my strength, I need to absorb the energy from the sacrificial altar. Without this energy, I will never be able to improve and cultivate. He said with a complicated expression. His current teleportation ability was too unbelievable. But it seemed to be very difficult to improve. Only the energy from the sacrificial altar could help him improve. Without it, he would remain at the immortal king realm forever. At this realm, his lifespan was less than 1,000,000. Is that so? But that's normal. Your ability is too unbelievable. Even the pinnacle races in the universe don't have such a terrifying ability. Wang Xian said, But Dragon King, I can feel that there are many coordinates in my mind. There are so many that I can't even count them. I can teleport there with just a thought. At this moment, Enlai spoke again. There's such a situation? Wang Xian and the rest were taken aback. There are countless coordinates in your mind. This means that there are sacrificial altars or man-made summoning altars. If it's an altar, you can absorb the energy to evolve. Tianjin said to him, Enlai nodded. Why don't you try teleporting over? Tianjin continued. I can sense that the closest coordinate to me is the enchantment region up ahead. The other coordinates feel very far away. I don't know where they are. Enlai said, teleporting over and then teleporting back, with your reaction speed, unless it's an existence above God Emperor, no one can stop you. Heavenly Formation said to him, then I'll give it a try. Go to a distant coordinate. Dark Lai hesitated for a moment, then disappeared. But just as his figure disappeared, he reappeared in an instant. In such a short time, Wang Xian and the Sky Array could not react in time. But at this time, blood was slowly flowing out of his eyes, nose, mouth, and ears, and his body was trembling. So scary, too scary, aw, I won't teleport randomly anymore. Enlai threw his head back and cried. Blood mixed with tears flowed down his face. Although Enlai looked comical at the moment, Wang Xian and the Sky Formation exchanged a look of astonishment. Enlai had teleported back. They hadn't been able to react in time, and Enlai had suffered a terrifying attack. What kind of existence could injure Enlai in such a short period of time? He was definitely above a God Emperor. Enlai, what did you see? Wang Xian asked him. I didn't see anything. I only felt a pair of eyes looking at me. Luckily, I escaped fast enough. Gosh, I was scared to death. I'll never teleport randomly in the future. Enlai shouted, still in a state of shock. I felt a pair of eyes looking at you. Wang Xian gasped and was shocked to the core. Such an existence was definitely a top-notch expert in the universe. Your injuries aren't too serious. I'm fine. Wang Xian comforted him. I'm fine. It's all thanks to your blessing, Dragon King. Enlai nodded, recovered, and flattered Wang Xian at the same time. Don't teleport to the distant coordinates. Go to the Qimei region and take a look. Are there many coordinates in the Qimei region? Wang Xian instructed him. Ah, Dragon King, Qimei region doesn't pose any danger to you. With your mind's reaction, even if an Emperor God expert wanted to kill you, he would have to know where you would appear in advance and release an attack in advance, waiting for you to arrive. Otherwise, you would be able to escape easily. Wang Xian interrupted him and said to him, It's my duty. Enlai nodded heavily and squeezed out a smile. Dragon King, we've conquered the Qimei region. How about letting me absorb all the energy from the sacrificial altars there? I'll give you half. The Dragon Palace needs to nurture another ability user like you. There are still many eternal fetus fruits left in the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian told him the truth. Dragon King, I'm a rare exception in the universe. I'm a 1 in a billion genius and an existence that can't be replicated. Consuming the eternal fetus fruit and being infected by the sacrificial altars doesn't mean one can have a constitution like mine. Enlai said reluctantly, All right, let's get to work. Wang Xian patted him on the shoulder. Yes, Dragon King. There are over 10,000 sacrificial altars in the Qimei region. I'll report them to you one by one. Enlai said with a bitter face, Bring this with you. Once you're in a devil's lair, you'll be able to scan the strength of the surrounding demons within a second. The Heavenly Formation gave him a compass and said to him, Yes, I'll definitely complete the mission. Enlai nodded and disappeared instantly. Enlai's ability is insane. Although he's only a 9th level Immortal God King now, he can easily kill an unguarded Pinnacle God King. Wang Xian said, If the Celestial Emperor isn't prepared, he can severely injure the Celestial Emperor with a sharp weapon. But once he's prepared, he won't be able to break through the defense. Tianjin nodded his head slightly. The energy from the sacrificial altars in the Qimei region should be able to help him improve. As Wang Xian spoke, he waited quietly at the spot. TSK. My speed is invincible. Those silly demons can't even see my shadow. Ha. 4 minutes later, Enlai's voice sounded. Enlai walked over from the side of the sacrificial altar with his head held high. He was full of pride. It was as though he wasn't the one who was bleeding from his 7 apertures. Dragon King, this is the information I've collected. Enlai passed Tianjin's communication stone plate to Wang Xian. Wang Xian immediately took it and looked at the information recorded on the stone plate. This is? When Wang Xian and Tianjin looked over, they were stunned. There were 15 black dots on it. Chapter 2953, The Terrifying Demons of Qi Mei Territory, 15 black dots. How can there be so many? Wang Xian and Tianjin were shocked when they saw these black dots. Tianjin's detection array compass indicated that the red dots represented those weaker than him, which was below Third Order God Emperor realm, including Third Order God Emperor realm demons. The black dots represented Third Order God Emperor realm demons and above. Third Order God Emperor realm and above? This kind of existence could easily destroy the entire colored glaze region and the entire bedazzling starry sky. How could there be 15 of them? In the past, some disciples of colored glaze region and demon region could enter the territory to train. Now, there were so many terrifying existences inside. Luckily, I didn't rush in recklessly. Otherwise, I might have been in danger. Wang Xian pursed his lips and stared at the last 2 black dots, then at Tianjin. Fifth Order God Emperor. These 2 black dots represent Fifth Order God Emperor realm demons. Tianjin also took a deep breath. His heart was shaken. Enlai, where are these black dots located in Qi Mei territory? He stared at Enlai and asked. I teleported from afar to near. These black dots are located in the deepest part of Qi Mei territory. Are there Fifth Order God Emperor demons there? That's nothing, right? I can still come and go as I please. Enlai was slightly shocked, but he said proudly. A Fifth Order God Emperor realm demon posed no threat to him. Naturally, he could not threaten a Fifth Order God Emperor realm demon either. The deepest part? That's good. Wang Xian heaved a sigh of relief. His eyes sparkled. With Enlai here, it might not be a bad thing for us to have so many powerful demons. Yes, Enlai can teleport us to the deepest part of a devil cave. We just need to kill the demons in the devil cave quickly, and the demons in other devil caves won't be able to discover us. We can nibble away at Qi Mei territory bit by bit and increase the strength of the Dragon Palace. According to the detection of this array, there are thousands of God Emperor realm demons in Qi Mei territory. Tianjin's eyes sparkled. Although he didn't understand why there were so many terrifying existences in the Qi Mei region, it wasn't necessarily a bad thing for the Dragon Palace. Enlai will take action immediately. Teleport to the nearest devil's den and investigate the strength of the evil creatures there. We'll start clearing the area from the edges. Wang Xian immediately instructed Enlai. Dragon King, the few thousand devil's lairs nearby are very weak. I can destroy them all. I'll bring you there. Enlai immediately said. Wang Xian nodded his head. Let's go, Enlai said. In the next moment, they disappeared and appeared in a cave. This cave was much smaller than the one Wang Xian and the rest had obtained. The demonic aura in it was also very weak. They're just a bunch of weaklings. You don't have to do anything, Dragon King. I'll deal with them. After saying that, Enlai's figure instantly disappeared. Pu. With the terrifying power of teleportation, he began a frenzied massacre. When you saw him raise a dagger in his hand, the next moment, he teleported to the top of a demon's head, and the dagger sank into it. At this speed, Wang Xian and the rest could only keep up with their eyes. The strongest demon here is only a Third Order God King. It's a little weak. Wang Xian said as he looked around. This should be the enchantment region that the Lioli region knows about. The demons in the devil's lairs aren't very strong. Tianjin said. Wang Xian nodded his head. Dragon King, all the demons are settled. Enlai appeared in front of Wang Xian a few minutes later and said, Try to absorb this altar and see how much you can improve. Wang Xian said to him. Yes, Dragon King. Enlai nodded his head. His eyes lit up as he teleported to the altar. He stood on it and closed his eyes slightly. He could see the patterns on the altar crawling towards him. Gradually, all the patterns entered his body. Too little. This is too little. My strength hasn't changed at all. Only my teleportation distance has increased by a few thousand kilometers. Soon, Enlai's dissatisfied voice sounded. That's enough. Aosia, Place a devouring dragon here to devour this nest and the devil's lairs. Let's go to the next place. Wang Xian said. Ao Xie nodded his head and immediately ordered an 8th Order God King devouring dragon to devour this devil's lairs. Subsequently, Enlai led them into the 2nd devil's lairs. It was still a weak and small devil's lairs. Enlai cleared them quickly. After Ao Xie placed the weakest devouring dragon in it, they continued their mission. In the next half a month, they started hunting in the devil's lairs. In this half a month, they had wiped out 10,000 devil's lairs and obtained a large number of corpses. 10,000 devil's lairs. However, although they had wiped out many devil's lairs, the total amount of resources was less than 1/20th of the resources of the leader of the Qi, Mei, Wang, Liang and demons. Among these 10,000 devil's lairs, only the last 100 had Pinnacle God King Realm demons. The rest were below Pinnacle God King Realm. For the current Dragon Palace, this kind of resources was no longer something they could covet. Dragon King, there are still over 800 devil's lairs. The next ones will all have God Emperor Realm demons. Enlai reported to Wang Xian after sensing the remaining coordinates. Finally, we've reached the devil's lairs with God Emperor Realm demons. The resources in the previous devil's lairs are too little. Wang Xian nodded with a smile on his face. Let's do it then. Let's hope the energy from the sacrificial altars in the devil's lairs can improve my strength. Enlai mumbled to himself as he disappeared with Wang Xian and the rest. When they reappeared, the heaven array arm waved and struck immediately. In the deepest part of the devil's lairs, the 1st Order God Emperor Realm demon didn't even have time to react before it was killed by the heaven array. Leave no one alive. Ao Xie ordered his subordinates around him. In an instant, 10 3rd Order God Emperor Realm devouring dragons charged towards the demons in the devil's lairs. Such a weak devil's lairs couldn't even put up any resistance in front of 10 3rd Order God Emperor Realm devouring dragons. I've absorbed over 10,000 sacrificial altars. Let's hope I can improve this time. Enlai came to the top of the sacrificial altar and looked at the patterns surging into his body. Kakaka. Very soon, a crisp sound came from Enlai's body and an even more powerful aura shot out from his body. Ah, I've improved. I've finally improved. Enlai's excited voice came from his mouth. After absorbing so much energy from the sacrificial altars, his strength rose from the 9th Order Immortal King Realm to the Pinnacle Immortal King Realm. It wasn't easy. Wang Xian and the rest looked over and smiled. The stronger Enlai's strength, the faster his reaction speed, the faster his teleportation speed, and the further he could travel. His improvement was still very useful. Chapter 2954, Azure Glass Grand Ceremony announced to the world upper. A roar came from a devil cave in Qi Mei region. The devouring dragons of the Dragon Palace were killing the demons one by one. Haha, I've broken through again. I've broken through to the 1st Order God Emperor Realm. In the deepest part of the devil's den, an excited voice rang out. At the side, Wang Xian, Tianjin and the rest smiled. After staying here for half a year, Enlai had killed many demons in the demon dens and absorbed the energy of the altar. His strength had once again broken through. Dragon King, I can now teleport within a radius of 300 million kilometers. There are still 50 devil's dens left. The higher the level of the devil's den, the more energy the sacrificial altar has. I reckon I can at least advance another level or two. Enlai said excitedly. It's slightly troublesome to deal with the devil dens now. In the end, it will only get more and more troublesome, especially when it comes to dealing with a 4th Order God Emperor Devil Den, said Wang Xian. After we finish killing all the 3rd Order God Emperor Realm demonic creatures, the Dragon Palace will have many more 3rd Order God Emperor Realm experts. There shouldn't be too much of a problem if we surround them. The closer we get to the center, the further away the devil caves are. Even if a battle breaks out, we won't be discovered. Perhaps in a year or two, we should be able to exterminate all the demonic creatures in Qi Mei region. Tianjin calculated with a smile. Wang Xian nodded his head. To be able to obtain so many resources within a year or two was not a small feat all in all. The resources obtained from killing all the demons in the evil spirit realm would only be more than the mechanic emperor realm. Let's take a break and continue, said Wang Xian. Tianzhen, Enlai, Ao Xie and the others nodded. Buzz buzz. At this moment, the communication stone plate in Wang Xian's mother nest vibrated suddenly. He opened it, took a look, and raised an eyebrow. Following that, a few more messages came in. These messages were sent by Prime Minister Turtle and the Lioli region master. Now that half a year had passed, the people of Lioli region had all returned. All the citizens had settled down. The crisis had been averted. Moreover, apart from some planets being ravaged by demons, not many people had died in this crisis. Lioli region was ready to celebrate. Secondly, Lioli and the others also officially announced that the Lioli region would be ruled by the Dragon Palace and the Dragon King. This was not just a matter of words, but something had to be paid. Taxes, for example. For a powerful organization that controlled many planets, taxes were an important source of resources for our organization. It was no exaggeration to say that the entire Lioli region's monthly tax resources could help the Dragon Palace produce one Emperor God expert. In addition, in order to thank the Dragon Palace for helping them through the crisis, Lioli and the rest would take out treasures to thank the Dragon King. Prime Minister Turtle's message mentioned that Lioli would present their most valuable treasure, the 7-colored glazed stone, to the Dragon King. The 7-colored glazed stone was the most valuable treasure in the entire Velurium region. There were only a few of them in the entire Velurium region. However, Prime Minister Turtle had no idea about its specific uses. In addition to the 7-colored glazed stone, there was also the 5-colored glazed stone and so on. Looks like I have to make a trip there. Wang Xian smiled as he read the messages. As a large region, the colored glaze region had many precious treasures. I'll go back to the Dragon Palace to deal with some matters. Let's wait for the matter of the Qi Mei region. There's no hurry. Wang Xian said to Tianzhen and the rest. Oh, what can I do for you, Dragon King? Tianzhen asked curiously. It's nothing big. Lioli region is going to hold a celebration to thank us. When the time comes, they will give you some treasures. Wang Xian replied with a smile. Treasures from the colored glaze region? Before I died, I had heard of some treasures from the colored glaze region, especially the 7-colored glazed stone. It was said to be a rare treasure. Tianzhen's eyes lit up as he spoke. Ao Xie, send a few men to keep watch here. Enlai, bring us back to the Devil's Den in the Qi Mei region. Wang Xian instructed Ao Xie and Enlai. Yes, Dragon King. The two nodded. In the next moment, they appeared in a Devil's Den at the border of the Qi Mei region. Ao Xie ordered a few men to stand guard here before Wang Xian and the rest returned to the Dragon Palace. Dragon King. When Wang Xian and the rest arrived, Prime Minister Turtle and the rest immediately went over to welcome them. Since the colored glaze region is holding a celebration and is prepared to honor us, we should also make some preparations and do what we should. What's the situation at the sacred region? Wang Xian nodded and asked Prime Minister Turtle. Prime Minister Turtle had just sent him a message and briefly mentioned the sacred region. Wang Xian also understood that after witnessing the formidable strength of the Dragon Palace and seeing the colored glaze region submitting to the Dragon Palace, the sacred region should also do something. Red Wind God Emperor said that the sacred region will also honor the Dragon Palace in the future and is willing to offer some resources and treasures to us every year. Prime Minister Turtle smiled and said, Sure. Now that the sacred region and the colored glaze region are on good terms with us, you can ask them if they are willing to open up the communication channels between the Heavenly Sorcerer region, the Imperial Star region, the sacred region, and the colored glaze region. This will be beneficial to the development of the entire bedazzling starry sky. Wang Xian said to Prime Minister Turtle. Yes, Dragon King. The colored glaze sacred region should be fine. Prime Minister Turtle nodded. The two chatted as they walked and soon arrived at the Dragon Transformation Pool. At this moment, many members of the Dragon Palace were improving their strength in the Dragon Transformation Pool. After entering the Qi Mei region and killing demons in the Devil's Den, the number of corpses of God Emperor Yao Xie had reached 1,000. In addition to the corpses of the 4 demon leaders, Qi, Mei, Wang, Liang, the members of the Dragon Palace could increase by 1,000 Emperor God experts. The corpses of the 4 demonic leaders have allowed a wind god dragon, roving demon, roving heavens, and 8 branches to improve their strength. Currently, their combat power has risen to the void 3rd order god emperor realm. Distribute the rest of the resources to the elites of Dragon Palace, said Prime Minister Turtle. All right, I'll leave the matters of the Dragon Palace to you. When will the celebration in the Lioli region be held? Wang Xian nodded his head. He didn't have to worry about the matters of the Dragon Palace. Prime Minister Turtle could be 100% impartial. Prime Minister Turtle was dedicated to the Dragon Palace, which was much better than Wang Xian managing it himself. 3 days later, the Colored Glaze region celebration will be held in 3 days. The sanctuary will be participating as well. They have also invited the Dragon Queen. Prime Minister Turtle replied with a smile. Let's go there now. We can build some dragon palaces in the Lioli region. It will be more convenient for us to deal with the matters in the Qi Mei region. Wang Xian said in a good mood. After coming to the resplendent starry sky for more than a decade, the Dragon Palace had already taken over this starry sky. He was very proud. End of chapter. Chapter 2955. Azure Glaze Grand Ceremony announced to the world below. Roars reverberated in the void at the border of Azure Glaze region and Qi Mei region. 9 wind divine dragons flapped their huge wings as they flew in the void. Behind them was a 10,000-meter-long dragon sedan. There was a throne in front of the dragon sedan, but no one was sitting on it. Prime Minister Turtle and 10 dragon guards stood on both sides of the throne. Behind them, tens of thousands of dragon guards and a group of leaders lined up in a row, following behind. There weren't many people in the group, but they had a strong presence. Wang Xian ordered Enlai to teleport to the Devil's Den at the border of Qi Mei region, and then to the center of Azure Glaze region. With the 3rd order immortal god King Wind divine dragons leading the way, they flew at a terrifying speed towards the center of Azure Glaze region. Who would have thought that in such a short time, this resplendent void would belong to our Dragon Palace? Who would have thought that the people of the Heavenly Witchcraft Domain and the Imperial Star Domain, as well as everywhere else, would be shocked when they found out that the Sacred Region and the Glaze Region Master are the rulers of our Dragon Palace? This is all thanks to Xiao Xian. The mighty Dragon King has unified the world. Inside the Dragon Sedan, a group of girls chatted with Wang Xian, their faces filled with joy. The Dragon Palace was so strong now. Guan Shuqing, Huan, and the other girls had broken through to the God Emperor realm with the help of the resources they received. The group of girls went sightseeing every day and had a great time. As the Empress of the Dragon Phoenix God Dynasty, they could be said to be the representatives of the Dragon Palace, in charge of 2 regions. They were specially invited to the Azure Glaze region's ceremony to show their importance. After all, the domain lords knew that they would befriend the Dragon Queens if there was anything in the future. The status of the wives of the Dragon Palace in the entire resplendent starry sky was imaginable. I'll let you guys go sightseeing after conquering more territories, Wang Xian said with a smile. Then when can you accompany us to play around? Ling Jian'er asked, holding his arm. After we deal with the Devil's Den in Qi Mei region, I'll accompany you guys. Wang Xian said, caressing her head. I heard that the Lioli region and the Sacred region are relatively peaceful and beautiful star regions. When the time comes, let's make a travel plan. The group of girls said excitedly. Wang Xian laid on the bed and felt extremely comfortable. They look like the 9 divine dragons of the Dragon Palace. They are pulling a dragon sedan chair. Is the Dragon King here? What a powerful aura. 9 divine dragons pulling the dragon palanquin out for inspection. This time, the Lioli region is holding a celebration mainly to thank the Dragon Palace. In the future, the Lioli region will be a subsidiary starfield of the Dragon Palace. In the future, the Dragon Palace will be the supreme ruler, and the Dragon King will be the king. The Dragon King helped us solve the crisis of the Mechanic Emperor Domain and the Dark Charm Domain, and saved countless of us. To the Lioli Domain, this is a great favor. It's only right for us to submit to the Dragon Palace. In the starry sky outside, when some of the planets saw the 9 flying divine dragons, they revealed looks of awe. The divine dragon flew at high speed. After more than 10 hours, it arrived at the center of the Lioli region. The foundation of Lazuli was slightly damaged by the demons this time around. However, it had already recovered completely by now. In the vast and prosperous central area, countless people were gathered here. Tomorrow was the celebration of the Lioli region. To celebrate surviving this crisis, all the experts of the entire Lioli region had gathered. In the sanctuary, the Sacred Lord and the other Emperor gods had all arrived. In addition, a few Emperor gods from the Desolation domain had also rushed over after receiving the news. Even the Emperor gods from the Tian Fa Ancient Heaven region had rushed over after receiving the news. Now, the entire resplendent starry sky knew that the Lioli region and the sanctuary would submit to the Dragon Palace, and the Dragon King would be the king. What did this mean? The Heavenly Sorcerer region and the Imperial Star region were under the direct control of the Dragon Palace, and the Mechanic Emperor domain was destroyed by the Dragon Palace. The Dark Charm domain was also said to be swept away by the Dragon Palace. The 7 major domains had submitted and were swept away. Only the Tian Fa Ancient Heaven region had not been swept away and had not submitted. However, the entire Tian Fa Ancient Heaven region was not as strong as the Sanctuary region. The Dragon Palace only needed to send an expert to sweep it away. When they heard about the celebration, they naturally came to pay their respects to the Dragon King. Moreover, because the Lioli region was once the #1 major domain, even after the invasion of the Dark Charm domain, it was still the strongest existence apart from the Dragon Palace. The Emperor gods from the Sanctuary and the Desolation domain had long rushed over for their celebration. At this moment, the entire void in the colored glass land was unusually lively. Countless God King experts and their descendants from the Lioli region and the Sanctuary had all rushed over. There were at least hundreds of billions of people gathered in this void. In front of the colored glass land, the Region Master, the Sacred Lord, and the other Emperor gods stood in the void, waiting there quietly. Behind them, countless soldiers from the Lioli region were lined up neatly. They looked at the void with burning eyes. They were all waiting for one person, the Dragon King. They had just received news that the Dragon King would be arriving soon. The Region Master had led everyone here to wait. With the Dragon Palace's strength and the Dragon King's status, it was worth their wait. More than 40 Emperor gods from the Desolation domain and the Tian Fa Ancient Heaven region could only stand at the edge. The Central Region Master and the Sacred Lord exchanged a few words from time to time. He's here. Right at this time, the first Supreme Elder's voice sounded. Everyone's heart tightened as they looked in front of them. Roar, roar, roar. The 9 wind divine dragons pulled the dragon palanquin as they stared in front of them. As though announcing their arrival, they let out dragon roars. Boundless dragon might spread out in all directions. 9 divine dragons pulling the palanquin on patrol. Who can match up to such might? All the Emperor gods looked at the 9 wind divine dragons from afar with respect in their eyes. Especially the aura of the largest wind divine dragon in the center. It struck fear into their hearts. Even the Region Master's eyes narrowed when he saw it. He could feel the aura of a third-order god emperor. When he was at his peak, he had borrowed the power of the 7-colored glazed stone. The Dragon King and the others are here. Everyone in the other areas of the lapis lazuli heard the roar and looked over. They saw the mythical divine dragons flying in their direction. The might of the Dragon Palace was terrifying. Roar, roar. Greetings, Dragon King. Welcome, Dragon King, to the colored glass land. Soon, the divine dragons arrived in front of the Region Master and the other Emperor gods and hovered in the void. The Region Master welcomed them immediately. The group of Emperor gods followed suit and bowed in greeting. Everyone, you don't have to be so polite. Let's go. Wang Xian walked out of the dragon palanquin, looked at them and smiled. Dragon King, there's no need to move. Please come with us. The Region Master said immediately and led the way. Chapter 2956, Rainbow Glazed Stone. The Domain Lord led the way personally while the group of God Emperors followed behind. The 9 divine dragons flew in directly. "Greetings, Dragon King." Thousands of disciples of Lioli immediately half-knelt in the void and shouted. They looked at the figure standing on the dragon's sedan with excitement. Dragon King of Dragon Palace. Although they had not seen the Dragon King in action, most of them had seen the 6 experts of Dragon Palace in action. The 6 experts had easily wiped out the 2 devil's lairs that were chasing them. Those 2 devil's lairs were existences that the entire Lioli region might not be able to resist even if they fought to the death. However, the 6 experts of Dragon Palace had easily wiped them out. Without Dragon Palace, there would be no Lioli region. The people of Lioli region had no objection to the Domain Lord and the group of God Emperors leading the way for the Dragon Sedan to enter directly. Everyone looked at him in awe. "Dragon King, this way please." "Experts of Dragon Palace, this way please." The Domain Lord bowed as they came to the front of the main Lioli Palace. Wang Xian nodded and opened the curtain of the Dragon Sedan with a smile. A group of girls walked out with smiles on their faces. "Welcome, Dragon Queens. I hope all of you can have a good time here at Lioli." Seeing Guan Shuqing and the girls, the Domain Lord and the rest greeted them warmly. "Thank you." The group of girls nodded their heads and followed behind Wang Xian. "God Emperors. They are all God Emperors." The first Supreme Elder and the rest swept their eyes across the girls and were shocked. The Dragon Queens of Dragon Palace were all God Emperors. How many God Emperors were there in Dragon Palace? "Dragon King, thank you for coming all the way here. We have prepared a sumptuous meal." The Domain Lord said with a smile. "You don't have to be so polite, Domain Lord. We will only be here for a few days. The situation at Chi Mei region has not been settled." Wang Xian said with a smile. "Hee, Dragon King. If there is anything that Lioli region can help with, just let us know." The Domain Lord nodded with a smile. Following the Domain Lord to the main hall, most of the God Emperors in resplendent starry sky were there. Wang Xian had a meal with them and talked about the future of resplendent starry sky. The Sacred Region and Lioli region were willing to establish communication to connect the entire resplendent starry sky. The few God Emperors from the Tian Fa Ancient Heaven region also hurriedly agreed. Subsequently, Wang Xian also mentioned that he wanted to build a dragon palace on some of the planets in the Lioli region. The territorial lords had no objections. The meal was very harmonious. Subsequently, the Domain Master brought Wang Xian and the rest around the treasured land of Lioli that had existed for billions of years. A day passed by quickly. The next day, the celebration officially began, and the whole of Lioli was filled with joy. Orioles sang and swallows danced. All kinds of performances were performed. Apart from congratulating the Lioli region for surviving the crisis, the celebration this time also had a very important purpose, which was to thank the Dragon Palace for their support. On the high platform in front of the celebration, countless experts and disciples of the Lioli region stood in front. In order to thank the Dragon Palace for saving our colored glaze domain, colored glaze, offer you the most precious colored glaze stone, the 7-colored glaze stone, as well as half of the 5-colored glaze stone and double-colored glaze stone that I have accumulated. In addition, we, the colored glaze region, will carve a statue of the divine dragon here, so that the disciples of the colored glaze region will always remember the kindness of the Dragon Palace. Not long after the celebration began, the Domain Lord stood in front and announced loudly. The 2 celestial emperors walked towards Wang Xian with the treasures in their hands. Wang Xian took the treasure box and said a few words with a smiling face. Next, the Domain Lord and the rest of the Sacred Region also presented their congratulatory gifts, thanking the Dragon King for annihilating the demons and getting rid of the aftermath of the Sacred Region. Subsequently, the Domain Lord announced that Wang Xian was the king of the resplendent starry sky. All the experts and disciples cheered for the king of the resplendent starry sky. Cheers resounded across the entire colored glaze starry sky. Wang Xian swept his gaze across the billions of people in front of him and revealed a faint smile. The celebration lasted for 3 days, and Wang Xian left after appearing for an hour. The 7-colored glaze stone contains such majestic energy. It contains the 7 attributes of metal, wood, water, fire, earth, light, and darkness. With the help of the 7-colored glazed stone, the Domain Lord's strength will increase tremendously. The energy contained in it is much stronger than roving crabs. It should belong to the 5th Order God Emperor realm. Also, these 5-colored glazed stones contain immense energy. In the dragon palanquin, Wang Xian sized up the gems that contained majestic energy. His eyes shone brightly. The value of these gems was very high, and most importantly, they were very special. The 7-colored glazed stone could completely link the 7 attributes together. Furthermore, if one attribute's energy was depleted, the other attribute's energy could be replenished rapidly, achieving a balance. When releasing an attack, it could make use of the energy contained within to increase one's strength. It can increase one's strength. In other words, this is a divine artifact. Wang Xian mumbled to himself. With a wave of his arm, the 5 elements great grindstone appeared in his hand. With a wave of his other hand, the yin and yang poles appeared. If the 5 elements great grindstone can devour the 5-colored glazed stone and increase its level, the 7-colored glazed stone should be able to do the same. Furthermore, I think the 7-colored glazed stone can be used to forge a Tai Chi dragon plate. Wang Xian mumbled to himself. Subsequently, he looked at the other glazed stones. There were more than 1,000 pieces of the 2-colored glazed stone, and each piece contained energy comparable to a 1st Order God Emperor realm treasure. In reality, the 2-colored glazed stone was not as useful as a 1st Order God Emperor realm divine artifact. The effect was too monotonous. Within the 2-colored glazed stone, there were quite a number of light and darkness fused together. The Tai Chi dragon plate forged is far stronger than the light and darkness energy that I can release myself. The Tai Chi dragon plate is used for defense in the 5 elements great grindstone. Perfect. These glazed stones are sufficient to forge an extremely powerful divine artifact. Wang Xian mumbled to himself. Xiao Xian, we're planning to have fun in the glazed region for a period of time before returning. At this time, a group of girls walked in and spoke with smiles on their faces. Alright, you guys have fun here. Let the wind divine dragon and the rest follow you guys. I'll continue to settle the matters in the enchantment region. Wang Xian said to them. Alright, we'll send you more photos when the time comes. Remember to check them. The group of girls giggled as they replied. Wang Xian nodded his head with a smile. He walked out of the dragon sedan and called Enlai over. Roving crab sky array, let's go. Roving demon, you follow us too. Try to settle all the devil dens in the enchantment region as soon as possible. Wang Xian said to them. Yes, Dragon King. The group nodded their heads. Dark Lie's energy enveloped them and they disappeared instantly. They appeared in the dragon cave at the border of the enchantment region. I'll leave the rest to you guys. Inform me when you're dealing with that 4th Order God Emperor realm demonic being. Wang Xian said to them. He did not follow them for the time being. Yes, Dragon King. Rest assured and leave it to us, Dragon King. Sky Array, Roving Crab, and Lai, and the rest nodded their heads. They immediately started attacking the devil dens. Wang Xian took out the 5 elements great grindstone and all the glazed stones. He started upgrading and forging divine weapons. Chapter 2957 Dragon Palace upgrade. The 5 elements great grindstone had the combat power of a void 2nd Order God Emperor after Wang Xian's recent upgrade. However, this was still of little value to Wang Xian. With these glazed stones in his hands, there was no need to talk about raising the 5 elements great grind to the 3rd Order void God Emperor realm. Even raising it to the 4th or 5th Order would not be a problem. Of course, his current strength was not enough to raise the 5 elements grindstone to a higher level than himself. Using half a month's time, the 5 elements great grindstone swallowed up some 2-colored glazed rocks and advanced to the 3rd Order void God Emperor realm. With the help of the 5 elements grindstone, Wang Xian could unleash even stronger attacks. Moreover, even without Wang Xian's control, the 5 elements grindstone could contend against a 3rd Order God Emperor realm opponent. Subsequently, Wang Xian began to create the Tai Chi dragon board. It was a little troublesome to create the Tai Chi dragon plate. Wang Xian wanted to use the rainbow-glazed rock as the foundation. However, the 7-colored glazed stone had 7 elements, so the other 5 elements had to be separated first. If it was anyone else, it would definitely be impossible. However, Wang Xian, who possessed 7 attributes and the heart of light and darkness, could do it, although it might take a long time. For the next period of time, Wang Xian focused on forging his second legendary equipment, the Tai Chi Dragon Plate. Time passed day by day. 4 god emperors who had lived for hundreds of millions of years, a year passed in the blink of an eye. During this year, the Colored Glaze region, the Sacred region, the Imperial Star region, the Heavenly Witchcraft region, and the 8 Desolations and 6 Directions region had completely established communications. Now, everyone in the Imperial Star region knew about what had happened in the Colored Glaze region. Tian Fa's Ancient Heaven region had only been popularized. Only those who had bought this kind of AI could connect to it. It wasn't completely connected. Even so, it had narrowed the distance between the various regions of the dazzling starry sky. Some sensational news would quickly spread throughout the entire starry sky. It was worth mentioning that Invincible Battle Law had become a celebrity in the entire resplendent starry sky. It couldn't be helped. This guy's background was too deep, and he liked to meddle in other people's business. However, he also had terrifying fans. He was also known as the strongest second generation in the bedazzling star galaxy. They jokingly said that he was backed by Father Long. During this 1 year, the Dragon Palace had truly become the overlord of the entire bedazzling starry sky. The Dragon King was truly the king of the bedazzling starry sky. Many experts even claimed that the Dragon King was the ruler of the starry sky. Even the group of god emperors laughed when they heard this. They all admitted that the Dragon King was the ruler of the resplendent starry sky. Phew, I've finally succeeded. At this moment, Wang Xian, who had not appeared for a year, was in a devil's cave. Looking at the Tai Chi Dragon board in front of him, his eyes were filled with excitement. The Taiji Dragon Plate was a void third-order God Emperor Realm Taiji Dragon Plate. It was about the size of a mirror and could change freely. On the left and right side of the mirror was the illusory image of a divine dragon. One was the Darkness Divine Dragon, the other was the Light Divine Dragon. However, the Darkness Divine Dragon's eyes were bright, while the Light Divine Dragon's eyes were dark. The 2 divine dragons intertwined, forming the shape of a Taiji. Buzz. As Wang Xian moved his arm, the entire Tai Chi Dragon board changed. 2 ink-like divine dragons separated and circled around Wang Xian. However, once Wang Xian was in danger, the 2 ink-like divine dragons would immediately fuse together to form a Tai Chi divine dragon to defend against attacks. The Tai Chi Dragon Plate could hover around him at all times. Without Wang Xian's control, it would automatically defend him. These 2 ink-like mystical dragons hovered around him. This was simply a dazzling special effect that lingered around him. It was so cool that he had no friends. If it's too cool, then it's a little coquettish. Wang Xian looked at the ink-like mystical dragons hovering around him with a smile on his face. This Tai Chi Dragon Plate was not only cool, but its defense was also terrifying. At least, Wang Xian could guarantee that a third-order God Emperor would not be able to break through his defense if he stood still. A large number of 2-colored stones had raised the Tai Chi Dragon Plate to the limit of this realm. Tisk, it's good to have a large number of resources. Wang Xian murmured. Dragon King, good news. We found a light attribute lair in the 6th Devil's Cave. At this time, a piece of good news came. Enlai appeared beside Wang Xian and reported to him. Oh, found it? Wang Xian's face was filled with surprise. There were very few light attribute celestial emperors in the Devil's Cave. They had hunted over 1,000 celestial emperors and had only found one. Yes, Dragon King. We're in luck. Now, only the 15 black spots in the Devil's Cave have not been cleared. The rest are settled. Enlai laughed. Bring me there. Wang Xian said immediately. Yes. As soon as Enlai finished his sentence, they arrived at a Devil's Cave. In front of them was a light attribute Devil's Cave. Dragon King. roving demon heavenly formation, and the rest immediately shouted when they saw Wang Xian. Great! After absorbing this lair, the Dragon Palace will be able to improve. Wang Xian said as he looked at Enlai. Dragon King, let's go. Enlai willed and the altar's power enveloped the light lair and Wang Xian. In the next moment, they returned to the main Dragon Palace in the Imperial Star Domain. In the main Dragon Palace, there was an altar specially used for Enlai's teleportation. Absorb. Wang Xian looked at the light lair beside him and willed. The lair trembled a bit before slowly disappearing. Ding. God Kingdom of Void God Emperor absorbed 9 attributes. Dragon Palace upgraded to level 9. The system's voice sounded. Following which, waves of vast energy filled the entire Dragon Palace. The entire Dragon Palace suddenly let out a dragon roar. All kinds of buildings expanded at a terrifying speed. The surface area of the Dragon Palace gradually increased to millions of kilometers. All kinds of buildings exuded dragon might and divine brilliance. Shadows of divine dragons circled around the entire Dragon Palace. The spiritual energy in the Dragon Palace increased at a crazy speed. The level of the Dragon Palace has been upgraded. At this moment, everyone in the Dragon Palace was pleasantly surprised. The Dragon Palace in the past seemed a little small as the members of the Dragon Palace quickly discovered it. Now, it had expanded by 100 times. Although experts of the Dragon Palace could fly across 1,000,000 kilometers in an instant, it was more than enough for them to survive and cultivate in it. Even the Dragon Field was very spacious for everyone in the Dragon Palace. After all, 1,000,000 kilometers was not 100 kilometers. Voila! At this moment, Wang Xian suddenly heard the sound of leaves swaying, which surprised him. The progenitor tree at the location of the Dragon King Hall had undergone a huge change. Immense energy gushed out from it. Waves of surging vitality filled the entire Dragon Palace, nourishing everything in the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian sensed the energy and was pleasantly surprised. With this vitality and the energy of the Dragon Palace, even an ordinary person could live for millions of years in the Dragon Palace without cultivating. Chapter 2958. Heaven Origin Fortune Ancestral Tree. The progenitor tree is changing. Wang Xian was pleasantly surprised. This was the arrival of 3 blessings. With the completion of the Tai Chi Dragon Plate, the Dragon Palace leveled up and the progenitor tree underwent a huge change. He moved and immediately flew into the Dragon King Hall. At the same time, he opened the system to check the attributes of the Dragon Palace. Dragon Palace, Level 9, Dragon Lord. Wang Xian, 7th level Undying God King 8-colored Divine Dragon, buildings Frowny Face Dragon King Palace. Level 9, increases Dragon King's cultivation and recovery speed by 1,536 times. Dragonization Pool, Level 9, absorbs dragon blood to give birth to a dragon species. Source, 31515324555, Dragon Gate, Level 9. Fish leaps through the Dragon Gate to become a dragon, effective against beings below the Universe Night level. Godly Sea Stabilizer, Level 9, Dragon Palace's Pillar, stabilizes the 80 million kilometers of Dragon Palace, increases the combat power of Dragon Palace members. Dragon Cave, Level 9, with 100 million Dragon Caves, the cultivation speed of Dragon Clan creatures increases by 1,024 times. Dragon Field, Level 9, Dragon Field Drill, 512 times increase in comprehension. Dragon Formation, Level 9, Dragon Palace Formation. Stealth, Defense, Spiritual Energy Gathering, Wormhole, Reconnaissance, Attack. Phase, Progenitor Tree, Fortune of Heaven, Attachment. The Dragonization Pool breeds dragons. Current dragon species, Golden Swordfish, Thunder Shrimp, Devil Monkey, Mysterious Demon, Light Thorn, Hydra, Dragon Turtle, Yaksha, Clam Lady, Golden Lobster, Starwood Dragon, Fire Phoenix Dragon. Special Buildings Dragon Nest. Devouring Dragon, None. Devouring Dragon. Consumes energy to create its own kind of Zerg. The Zerg Queen feeds on various metal materials. Wang Xian's eyes sparkled as he checked the attributes in his mind. The doubling of his attributes wasn't too surprising. However, when he saw the progenitor tree, his heart skipped a beat. The progenitor tree, heavenly primal fortune. Wang Xian was well aware of the Tianyuan creation realm. That was the pinnacle existence in the universe. That was the title of true invincibility in the universe. In the past, the Divine Dragon clan only had one blessed realm being, and that was the main creator of the Divine Dragon system, the Dragon God of the Divine Dragon clan. He was a water divine dragon, a water divine dragon. According to the records of the Divine Dragon's legacy, there were very few existences in the creation realm. Moreover, there had never been a second divine origin creation realm expert of the same race and element. Some experts in the universe speculated that only one heaven origin creation could be born from a single element. There were also experts who speculated that a single race could only give birth to one fortune of heaven. As for the specifics, no one knew because in the records of the Divine Dragon clan, there were only 5 divine origin creation stage powerhouses in the universe. Only 5? What kind of concept was that? In the entire universe, there were countless human beings, but there were only 5 Tianyuan fortunes, and that was only in the records. No one had ever seen a divine origin creation realm expert make a move. Behind the progenitor tree were the words heavenly origin fortune, the supreme treasure of the universe. In other words, the value of the progenitor tree was comparable to the divine dragon system that Wang Xian possessed. The progenitor tree has changed a lot this time. At this time, Wang Xian came to the front of the Dragon King Hall. Looking at the huge changes to the progenitor tree, he was shocked. The progenitor tree had already grown to a height of about 50,000 meters, and its branches and leaves were luxuriant. There were 5 branches on the progenitor tree. It was a gray branch of the soul-returning wood. The branches of the boundless tree were emitting flames. The branches of the ascending tree were filled with boundless vitality. The branches of the nirvana thunder tree were filled with lightning. The branches of the parasol tree were shaped like a bird's nest. Other than these 5 branches, there was also a gourd. The gourd was 1 meter in size and emitted 5 different lights. Below the progenitor tree, there was a pool beside the dragon throne. It was a pool of 100 meters in size, and there was a large amount of liquid in the pool. That was the ancient pool's moonlight bay. Be it the branches, the immortal slaying gourd, or the ancient pool's moonlight bay, all of them had undergone huge changes. Looking at the progenitor tree, a message popped up in his mind. Progenitor tree, heavenly origin fortune branches, soul returning wood branch, dominator level, possesses the soul returning fetus fruit. Currently able to return the soul of beings below the venerable level. Parasol tree branch, venerable level, the wood where the phoenix rests, the phoenix's nest, and the land of nirvana. Boundless tree branch, venerable level, possesses the boundless fetus fruit. Currently able to increase the speed of fire attribute cultivators by 800%. Ascending tree branch, venerable level, possesses the ascending fetus fruit. Able to unlock the intelligence of living beings. Thunder nirvana tree branch, venerable level, possesses the thunder nirvana fruit. Increases the speed of lightning attribute cultivators by 800%. Fruit, immortal killing gourd, ruler rank. Currently able to nurture 4 types of void god emperor rank 3 immortal killing swords. Abilities, 1. Can resurrect all wood type plants. As the progenitor tree's energy increases, the upper limit of the branches can be increased. Subsidiary, ancient pond's moonlight bay, venerable level, able to quickly recover from injuries and irreversible injuries. Information from the progenitor tree appeared in his mind, causing his face to be filled with joy. He carefully checked the progenitor tree's information and pursed his lips as he looked at the progenitor tree. I didn't expect the soul-returning wood and the immortal slaying gourd to be supreme treasures of the ruler level. They can already be called the pinnacle supreme treasures of the universe. However, the soul-returning wood and the celestial slaying gourd are obviously damaged and can't be restored. Only an ultimate treasure like the progenitor tree can help them recover bit by bit. However, the progenitor tree has another ability. It can raise the upper limit of its branches. In other words, those boundless branches and everlasting trees branches can be raised to the ruler level. Wang Xian murmured with excitement in his eyes. With a wave of his arm, the immortal slaying gourd appeared in his hand. Sensing the immortal slaying swords in the immortal slaying gourd, he smiled again. The advancement of the progenitor tree had increased the number of immortal slaying swords in the immortal slaying gourd by more than 50. Including those that were nurtured previously, there were a total of 70. The instantaneous attack of 70 immortal slaying swords could threaten a fourth-order God Emperor realm expert. Moreover, he could sense that the immortal slaying gourd could be upgraded independently. Due to the progenitor tree's energy, it could only be upgraded to the peak of the Void God Emperor realm. To upgrade, the immortal slaying gourd would need to absorb all kinds of wood-type treasures. Divine grass and divine wood would do. Haha, the Dragon Palace's upgrade this time is too huge. Wang Xian grinned and couldn't help but chuckle. Coincidentally, the upgrade this time would be of great help to the subsequent attacks on the various devil layers. The immortal slaying gourd could threaten a fourth-order God Emperor realm expert once it was used. The liquid in the ancient pond's Moonlight Bay could allow Ao Xie and the rest to attack with all their might without worrying about their injuries. Just in time. Enlai, let's go and attack the other devil layers. Wang Xian waved his arm and brought the immortal slaying gourd along with a large amount of Moonlight Bay's liquid. Yes, Dragon King. Enlai nodded his head and disappeared with Wang Xian. Enlai had absorbed so much energy from the sacrificial altar and was now a second-order God Emperor realm Void God Emperor. In terms of combat strength, he could kill a third-order God Emperor realm expert by surprise. Everyone, please wait patiently for the next few pictures to be more exciting. Happy New Year! Chapter 2959 Treasures of Qi Mei Region Upert Dragon King. When Wang Xian returned to the Devil's Cave, the voices of Tianzhen and the others could be heard. Get ready. We're about to attack the lair of the fourth-order God Emperor realm demons. At that time, there might be danger. Keep this liquid, it can heal your injuries in an instant. We'll enter the Devil Cave of the fourth-order God Emperor realm demonic creatures. We have to kill the leader of the fourth-order God Emperor realm demonic creatures in the shortest time possible. We can't let it summon its subordinates. Wang Xian reminded Ao Xie and the rest. Dragon King, there shouldn't be a problem. Currently, our devouring dragon has 33 third-order God Emperor realm experts. They are already strong enough to kill a fourth-order God Emperor realm demonic beast. Adding me, there shouldn't be a problem. Ao Xie said confidently. During this 1 year, they had broken through more than 10,000 devil's nests. The devil's nests and the nests within them were huge resources for the devouring dragon. Currently, the number of devouring dragon god-level experts had already reached 6,000. There were 33 third-order God Emperor realm experts. 10 third-order God Emperor realm devouring dragons could fight against 1 fourth-order God Emperor realm. There was a high chance of killing a fourth-order God Emperor realm demonic creature if they attacked for a long period of time. To prevent any accidents, I'll launch an attack with the immortal beheading gourd. Roving Crab and the third-order God Emperor realm devouring dragon will follow closely behind. We'll try our best to kill them in an instant. Wang Xian ordered Roving Crab. It's Dragon King. Ao Xie nodded. Enlai. Wang Xian gestured to Enlai. Enlai nodded. He had already checked the remaining 15 devil layers. Get ready, he reminded Wang Xian and the rest. The crowd nodded. Let's go, Enlai shouted. In the next moment, they appeared in front of the altar of another devil's Denver. That was because the roving crab devouring dragon was in battle mode and its body was huge. The moment they appeared, they were immediately discovered. However, the fourth-order God Emperor realm evil demon in the deepest part of the Devil Cave was stunned by the sudden appearance of Wang Xian and his group. He could not react in time. So. At this time, 73rd Order God Emperor realm immortal slaying swords flew towards the 4th Order God Emperor realm demonic beast. Roving Crab and the 33 devouring dragons, who were ready to attack, instantly attacked. Terrifying energy instantly enveloped the dazed Fourth Order God Emperor Realm Demon Fiend God Emperor. Boeo! A terrified voice rang out. Boom boom boom. In the next moment, the Fourth Order God Emperor Realm Demonic Beast was enveloped by a terrifying energy, and his life force disappeared at a rapid pace. Instant kill. Aosia could not help but shout. Instant kill. The Fourth Order God Emperor Realm Demonic Beast was killed before it could even react. Finish off the rest of the demons as soon as possible. Wang Xian clenched his fist excitedly as he spoke to Aosia and the rest. In this devil cave, there were 50 God Emperor level demons. One of them was rank 4, and 5 were rank 3. There was no need for Wang Xian to do anything. The devouring dragon could annihilate them all. In less than 5 minutes, all the devouring dragons flew over with a large number of corpses. A Third Order God Emperor Realm devouring dragon can reach the Fourth Order God Emperor Realm after devouring this devil cave. A Fourth Order God Emperor Realm demonic beast's corpse can allow a member of the Dragon Palace to reach the Fourth Order God Realm. The lair of a Fourth Order God Emperor Realm demonic beast isn't enough. In other words, this devil cave can increase the number of Fourth Order God Emperor Realm experts in the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian mumbled to himself with a faint smile on his face. A perfect start. Now that the battle had begun, all they needed to do was to increase the number of Fourth Order God Emperor Realm experts in the Dragon Palace. Roving Demon, bring the corpses back to the Dragon Palace and increase your strength. Aosia, send a member to devour this devil cave. After all of you have increased your strength, we will enter the next devil cave. Wang Xian instructed. Yes, Dragon King. Roving Demon and the rest nodded. After a good start, the rest was much easier. They continued to kill devil caves and increase their strength. Even if they had to face the last 2 Fifth Order God Emperor Realm demonic beasts, they would still be able to deal with them. Get ready. Half a month later, Roving Demon returned. The devouring dragon had an additional Fourth Order God Emperor Realm expert. A total of 3 Fourth Order God Emperor Realm experts. Wang Xian let out a low roar as they appeared in another devil cave. 3 against 1. With over 30 Third Order God Emperor Realm devouring dragons, it was equivalent to 6 against 1. This time, the Fourth Order God Emperor Realm demonic beast had no way to resist and was killed in an instant. Very soon, another devil den was conquered. This time, they did not wait for the members of the Dragon Palace to digest the resources and directly attacked the devil caves at the back. Following which, they attacked continuously for 5 times before stopping. Only 8 devil caves remained unconquered. The reason why they stopped was because there were 2 Fourth Order God Emperor Realm experts in the 8th devil cave. Let's increase our strength first. After digesting the resources, the number of Fourth Order God Emperor Realm experts in the Dragon Palace will reach 18. Wang Xian calculated with a smile on his face. Dragon King, I'll go increase my strength. Tianjin could not help but say. Wang Xian nodded. He had no objections. After Tianjin increased his strength, one of them could fight against 2 or 3 people of the same realm. Naturally, he would have priority. After you guys are done, other than the last 2 devil caves, sweep the rest in one go. Wang Xian smiled. The group of Dragon Palace members smiled and nodded. They immediately returned to the Dragon Palace to increase their strength. Half a month's time passed by quickly. 15 days later, the 18 Fourth Order God Emperor Realm experts arrived. Get ready. And Lai looked at them and reminded them. The hunt continued. 18 Fourth Order God Emperor Realm experts from the Dragon Palace were easy to kill. In less than a day's time, all 6 devil lairs had been destroyed. There are only 2 left. If we want to conquer the last 2 devil caves, we need to increase our strength. We'll wipe them out in half a month's time. Wang Xian said confidently. Yes, Dragon King. The group of Dragon Palace leaders also revealed a confident look. Now that they had 18 Fourth Order God Emperor Realm experts, it was enough to fight against a 5th Order God Emperor Realm expert. The resources they obtained from conquering the 6 devil caves had increased by several folds. According to Wang Xian's calculations, They could increase their strength by 28 Fourth Order God Emperor Realm experts. 18 plus 28, that was 46. Fifth Order God Emperor Realm experts could be killed. Enlai, pay attention to the movements of the other two devil caves. I'll make a trip back to the Dragon Palace. After instructing Enlai, Wang Xian moved and returned to the Dragon Palace with a group of subordinates. Now that Enlai had absorbed the energy from the high-grade sacrificial altar, his strength had broken through again. A Third Order God Emperor Realm expert could make a trip to a Fifth Order God Emperor Realm expert's Devil Cave without being discovered. Let's take a break. Back in the Dragon Palace, Wang Xian leisurely went to his sleeping quarters to prepare for the biggest battle in the Devil region. Chapter 2960, Dragon King. There's a special situation in the enchantment region. Before the 15th day of the short break, Wang Xian received a piece of bad news from Enlai. He frowned when he saw Enlai's sudden message. Come back immediately. Wang Xian moved and arrived at the Dragon King Hall. Dragon King. When he arrived at the Dragon King Hall, Enlai had already teleported over. What's going on in the enchantment region? Wang Xian asked with a frown. Dragon King, another devil's den has appeared in the Lioli region, and there are 3 of them. I entered the devil's lair to check it out. It was filled with rank 5 God Emperors, and there were even 2 rank 5 God Emperors. Enlai said in shock. Another 3 devil's dens? Wang Xian stood up from the dragon throne with a surprised look on his face. Dragon King, I was curious when I received this news. I've read the information about the Lioli region and the enchantment region. In the past, there were God Emperors in the Lioli region who came to the deepest part of the enchantment region, but they didn't find so many powerful devil's dens. These devil's dens were teleported back from other worlds. When the leaders of the 3 devil's dens arrived, they immediately flew towards the deepest part of the enchantment region. Dragon King, guess what I found? Enlai said mysteriously. Cough cough. Seeing that Wang Xian was staring at him, Enlai didn't dare to keep Wang Xian in suspense. I found a continent with a circumference of 100 kilometers in the deepest part of the Lioli region. There was a pond in the center of the continent, and there was a bright flower in the pond. It looked like a lotus and contained boundless energy. The energy was immense. When the new leaders arrived, the leaders of the other 2 devil's dens also flew over. They almost started fighting. Enlai's eyes were burning with passion as he spoke. You're saying that these devil's dens were attracted by the treasure in the pond? Wang Xian raised an eyebrow and said, Yes, Dragon King. They were definitely attracted by the treasure. Otherwise, the moment the devil's dens appeared, they would have flown in that direction. According to my guess, this is definitely an extremely powerful treasure. Moreover, that treasure is about to mature in the near future because there are 6 Fifth Order God Emperor Realm demonic creatures guarding it. Enlai nodded heavily. Wang Xian raised his eyebrows and his eyes flickered. To be able to summon back the demons that had been summoned and attract so many powerful demons, the treasure was definitely not simple. In terms of the grade of the divine grass, it was absolutely impossible for it to be lower than a void 6th Order God Emperor. After all, a 5th Order God Emperor Realm treasure wasn't worth so many 5th Order God Emperor Realm demonic beast leaders fighting over it. Dragon King, if you want to snatch the treasure, leave it to me. With my speed, I can pluck the flower the moment it ripens. Those 5th Order God Emperor Realm monsters won't be able to do anything to me. Enlai said, his face full of confidence. With his current strength, even a 5th Order God Emperor Realm expert would not be able to touch his shadow. If they were to snatch the treasures, the demons could only watch helplessly. Wang Xian nodded his head slightly. Even though it was unexpected that there was a powerful treasure in the enchantment region, with Enlai's instantaneous movement, snatching the treasure wasn't a problem. But after snatching the treasure, to prevent the other demonic beast leaders from rioting, it would be best to eliminate them. Keep an eye on the treasure in the enchantment region. Once there's any news, report to me immediately. If the treasure ripens, snatch it away. Wang Xian ordered Enlai. Yes, Dragon King. Rest assured, that treasure is definitely in our bag. Enlai said confidently. There's going to be some trouble next. Wang Xian sat on the dragon throne and knocked on it lightly. A group of demonic beast leaders flew out from the Devil Cave. Moreover, there were 3 more 5th Order God Emperor Realm demonic beast leaders. There were a total of 6 5th Order God Emperor Realm demonic beast leaders. It would be very troublesome to deal with 6 of them at the same time. The members of the Dragon Palace will need another 5 days to fully improve. But even if they do, they won't be able to teleport to the various devil caves and hunt them one by one like before. He thought to himself, forget it, I'll just take it one step at a time. After the members of the Dragon Palace improve, it won't be any weaker than the 5 devil caves. Wang Xian thought to himself. Although the high-end combat power of the devil caves was strong, the number of God Emperors in the Dragon Palace was huge. Currently, there were more than 7,000 God Emperors in the Dragon Palace. More than 7,000. No one in the entire resplendent starry sky would believe it. Dragon King, I have good news and bad news. But 2 days later, Enlai suddenly returned to the Dragon Palace and shouted. Wang Xian moved and came before Enlai. He stared at the huge flower in Enlai's hand. The 2-meter red flower was incomparably bright and contained majestic energy. In just a breath's time, Wang Xian could feel his dragon energy increasing significantly. This is? His eyes narrowed slightly as he asked Enlai. It's that treasure. Just now, the 6 demonic beast leaders suddenly flew towards it. All their demonic beasts went berserk and a terrifying battle broke out. When I saw this, I immediately took action. I plucked the divine flower and disappeared in an instant. In the end, something bad happened. The group of demonic beasts no longer attacked each other. Instead, they let out violent roars. They went berserk. The worst news is that the 6 demonic beast leaders entered the Devil's Cave and drove it out of the enchantment region. They are heading towards the Colored Glaze region. Enlai reported. When Wang Xian heard him, he immediately frowned. How fast are those demonic beasts? Wang Xian asked immediately. Because they are in the deepest part of the enchantment region. Based on their speed, it will take them 3 to 4 days to reach the Colored Glaze region. Enlai said immediately, 3 to 4 days? Luckily, there's still time. Wang Xian's eyes flickered. He waved his arm and took the divine flower from Enlai's hand. This is? When he saw the flower in his hand, his eyes were filled with excitement. Phantom flower, Void 7th Order God Emperor. I didn't expect it to be a Void 7th Order God Emperor flower. If I absorb this phantom flower, how much can I improve? Can it help me break through to the God Emperor realm? Wang Xian's eyes were burning with passion. If he could rely on this phantom flower to advance to the God Emperor realm, he could easily kill all the demonic beasts in the 5 great devil's caves. But it's too early to be happy. If I can't break through to the God Emperor realm, I can only have the combat power of a 5th Order God Emperor. Chapter 2961. Inside the Devil Region's Dragon Palace on, terrifying roars resounded in the space above the Devil Region. 5 gigantic devil lairs shuttled through the void. 6 5th Order God Emperor realm demonic creatures stood at the exit of the devil lairs. Their bloodthirsty eyes were fixed on the void in front of them. After reaching the God Emperor realm, these demonic creatures had gained some intelligence. They knew that they lived in the bedazzling starry sky and knew about the 7 major regions. However, due to the unique characteristics of the devil lairs, they could be summoned to another part of the starry sky. Hence, many demonic creatures were summoned to another part of the starry sky before they were strong enough to develop and improve their strength. Once they returned, they could no longer return to that part of the starry sky. They could only respond to other summons. The danger of going to an unfamiliar starry sky increased exponentially. As a result, when a demonic creature occupied a part of the starry sky, they would stay there. After all, it was their territory. The reason why they came back this time was for the treasure of their devil region, the Ghost Flower. The Ghost Flower was extremely useful to them. After devouring a mature Ghost Flower, it could help a 5th Order God Emperor realm demonic creature break through. However, when they were fighting for the Ghost Flower, a human suddenly appeared and snatched it away. That was their hope of breaking through. This filled the eyes of the 6 demonic creatures with rage and violence. Humans. Kill all humans. Based on their understanding of the starry sky, the 5 devil lairs charged towards the star field where humans lived. Along the way, they discovered that all the other devil lairs and demonic creatures in the devil region had disappeared. This caused the demonic creatures to suspect the humans. Ice-cold killing intent filled the entire devil region. A violent aura swept across the starry sky. TSK, they're really slow. But it's good that they're slow. When the members of the Dragon Palace and the Dragon King improve, we'll kill all of you beasts. After killing all of you, I should be able to improve. In the void, Enlai was monitoring the 5 devil lairs with a relaxed expression on his face. At the same time, an excited roar resounded from within the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian transformed into his dragon form and settled in the Dragon Palace. His face was filled with excitement. He had advanced a level. He quickly absorbed the energy of the demonic flower. In less than a day, he had a breakthrough. Moreover, he hadn't even absorbed 1/10 of the demonic flower's energy. Continue. Wang Xianlong's eyes shone with excitement as he continued to absorb. Time quickly passed. Another day later, excited roars sounded from within the dragon transformation pool. One by one, the experts of Dragon Palace flew out from the dragon transformation pool with excitement written all over their faces. Haha, 4th Order God Emperor Realm Combat Power. Awesome, too awesome. Excited voices were heard as members of the Dragon Palace flew to the side of the dragon transformation pool. Congratulations! By the dragon transformation pool, Prime Minister Turtle said to the experts of Dragon Palace with a smile. Prime Minister Turtle, where's the Dragon King? With our current strength, we can easily destroy those 2 devil's dens. Yamada no Orochi flew over and asked excitedly. The Dragon King is improving. There are huge changes over at the Chi Mei region. Now, there are 3 more devil's dens with 4 5th Order God Emperor realm leaders. Currently, those 5 devil's dens are flying towards the Colored Glaze region. I reckon they are planning to wreak havoc on the human race. We have to stop and destroy them before they leave the Chi Mei region. Prime Minister Turtle said. 3 more devil's dens with 4 5th Order God Emperor realm leaders? Prime Minister Turtle, how strong are those 5 devil's dens? Tianjin asked immediately. 6 5th Order God Emperor realm, 25 4th Order God Emperor realm, and over 700 other God Emperor realm leaders. Prime Minister Turtle answered. Their high-end combat power is stronger than ours. However, our Dragon Palace has more God Emperor realm experts. Dealing with them won't be a problem. Demon Fiend and the others said. Tianjin and the others nodded in agreement. Enlai obtained a high-grade divine grass from the Chi Mei region. Now, the Dragon King is improving. If the Dragon King breaks through to the God Emperor realm, the Dragon King will be able to destroy them all by himself. Even if he can't break through to the God Emperor realm, according to the Dragon King, he will have the combat power of a 5th Order God Emperor. At that time, with the Dragon King, we have a high chance of destroying all 5 devil's dens. Prime Minister Turtle said with a smile. As long as the Dragon King breaks through, everything will be simple. Tianjin and the others said. Now, we need to make preparations. All God Emperor realm experts and the 800,000 members of the Dragon Palace will charge over. This war is to train our troops, and also to wipe out the entire Chi Mei region. Prime Minister Turtle ordered. All the members of the Dragon Palace answered. Prepare in the Dragon Field in 10 minutes. Prime Minister Turtle waved his hand, and the group of leaders immediately went to prepare. 10 minutes later, the 800,000 members of the Dragon Palace entered the transmission array and arrived at a planet at the border of the Colored Glaze region and the Chi Mei region. There was a Dragon Palace on this planet, and beside it was an incomparably huge Devil's Denver. Void God Emperor's 3rd Order Devil's Denver. This Devil's Den was for Enlai to use for teleportation purposes. Let's control this Devil's Den to reach the Chi Mei region. Aosia said to Prime Minister Turtle and the rest. Alright, control this devil's den, and Enlai can come over instantly. After the Dragon King improves, he can rush over as well. Prime Minister Turtle nodded. Leave the rest to our devouring dragons. As Aosia spoke, he turned into a devouring dragon, and the other 1 million devouring dragons emerged from his body. In addition to the devouring dragons, there were 1.8 million experts in the Dragon Palace, and the weakest among them was an 8th Order God King. After obtaining so many resources in the Chi-Mei region, the other disciples of the Dragon Palace had also improved greatly. The current Dragon Palace was definitely terrifying. With their current strength, even if the Dragon King did not come, they were confident of defeating the 5 Devil's Dens. However, they were not confident of killing the leader. Move out, Aosia ordered, and the Devil's Den flew towards the Chi-Mei region. Tianjin, Duan Jinming, see if you guys can forge this Devil's Den into a war machine. If it's possible, we can forge one for the Dragon Palace. As the Devil's Den flew at high speed, Prime Minister Turtle sized up the Devil's Den and asked Tianjin. I have the same idea, but it's best to use a higher grade Devil's Den to forge it. That way, the flying speed will be faster. Tianjin nodded and said, after we annihilate the Chi-Mei region, our Dragon Palace will be completely stabilized, and we can forge some war machines to raise our strength. Prime Minister Turtle suggested with a smile. It's the 3rd night of the Lunar New Year. I'm celebrating the Lunar New Year too. Chapter 2962, Great Battle, Evil Spirit Region. Versus Dragon Palashong in the void of Chi-Mei region, a devil den was flying rapidly in the void. Inside the devil's cave, the members of the Dragon Palace were chatting and looking at the surrounding void. Let's stop in this part of the void. The 5 great devil dens will definitely pass through here. We can just wait here. Enlai appeared in the devil's cave, looked at the star map, and said to Prime Minister Turtle and the others. All right, roving crab, stop the devouring dragon. Prime Minister Turtle nodded and said to Aosia. All right. Aosia nodded. It's estimated that the 5 devil dens will arrive in 49 hours. Enlai looked at the time and said again. The Dragon King's strength should be able to improve in 2 days. Tianjin said with a smile. This time, even if the Dragon King breaks through to the Emperor God realm, we can't let the Dragon King kill all the demons. Use this opportunity to train our troops. Prime Minister Turtle said to the leaders. Don't worry, Prime Minister Turtle. This time, we will train our troops well. This is a rare opportunity. Orochi smiled and said loudly. Don't take this battle lightly. People are going to die this time. Every department, pay attention. Prime Minister Turtle said solemnly. Yes. The group of leaders responded loudly. Although they were very confident in this battle, there was still a great risk. If the Dragon King had not made a breakthrough to the Emperor God realm, some Emperor God experts would have died if they were not careful. After all, these 6 Fifth Order God Emperor realm demonic creatures were not to be trifled with. As time passed, all the members of the Dragon Palace in the Devil's Cave prepared for the battle and practiced. The entire Devil's Den was extremely huge, comparable to a large planet. With more than 1 million members of the Dragon Palace inside, it was extremely spacious and could even carry out simple battles. It's still lacking a little. I'm lacking almost half of the dragon energy. At the same time, at the location of the Dragon Palace, Wang Xian let out a deep roar, opened his dragon eyes, and mumbled. Name, Wang Xian race, Yin Yang 5 Elements Dragon, one with the dragon. Rank, 9th Order Immortal God King, 7th Transformation of Divine Dragon Transformation, Origin Source, 5252123960000000000 Magic. Dominate the aquatic creatures. Dominate any aquatic creatures lower than your own level. Devour living things. Devour living things to extract the source. Control of the 5 elements cultivation technique. Divine dragon transformation divine abilities. Soul capture. Spirit attachment. Yin Yang 5 elements dragon eyes. Dharma form. 5 elements grindstone. Dragon country in the palm. Dragon head descending. 10,000 mile dragon body. Yin Yang polarity. Yin Yang 5 Elemental Bowl, Divine Dragon Tail Whip. Substantive Law, Metal, Wood, Water, Fire, Earth, Light, and Darkness, Tier 9, Divine Kingdom, Dragon Palace. Own Dragon Palace, Level 9 Dragon Palace members, 1032450. Looking at the attributes in his mind, he shook his head in disappointment. The energy contained within the 7th Order God Emperor Realm Demonic Ghost Flower was too little, and it could only raise its cultivation by 2 ranks. Although it was a one-off increase of 2 ranks, it was still within his expectations. Buzz. The current me should have the combat power of a peak 5th Order God Emperor Realm expert. With my current speed, I should be able to kill a 5th Order God Emperor Realm demonic creature in an instant. Wang Xian transformed into his human form and revealed a faint smile. The 5 elements grindstone transformed into a crown on his head, and the Taiji dragon disc transformed into 2 ink-colored divine dragons that floated around him. A powerful and vast draconic might burst out from his body. Wang Xian waved his arm, and the 5 elements grindstone and Taiji dragon disc landed in his hands. The glazed stone in my hand can still raise the 5 elements grindstone and Taiji dragon disc to the 5th Order God Emperor realm. I'll head over after the upgrade. As he spoke, he took out the 5-colored glazed stone and the 7-colored glazed stone to absorb the energy within. Success. After more than 10 hours, Wang Xian looked at the 5 elements grindstone and Taiji dragon disc in front of him with a smile on his face. He took out the communication stone plate and sent a message to Enlai. Dragon King, Enlai is here. In less than a second, Enlai appeared in front of Wang Xian, bowed, and greeted him with a smile. Let's go. How long until the 5 great devil dens arrive? Wang Xian asked. Dragon King, we're not far off. We'll arrive in slightly more than an hour. As Enlai spoke, they arrived at the devil den controlled by the Dragon Palace. Dragon King. The members of the Dragon Palace greeted him respectfully. Let's go. As Wang Xian spoke, he moved and flew towards the exit of the Devil Denver. Soon, Wang Xian stood in the middle of the exit of the Devil Den and looked into the void ahead. This Devil Den is not bad. It's suitable as a war machine for the Dragon Palace. The Arrow Dragon clan and the Dolphin clan can stand in it and attack freely. Wang Xian looked at it and said, Dragon King, not long ago, we were still considering building a devil den into a war machine. After we annihilate the 5 great devil dens, the Heavenly Array is prepared to use one of the devil dens to build a powerful war machine with the Firehammer clan. Prime Minister Turtle smiled and said, Wang Xian nodded his head. The long-range attackers can stand in the Devil Denver. The close-range attackers can stand on Shaolon and the rest. Next, it's time to enhance the strength of Shaolon and the rest. Prime Minister Turtle nodded his head and asked, Dragon King, what's your current strength? I'm still far from it. Wang Xian shook his head slightly. The next battle will be a tough one for the Dragon Palace. As he spoke, he looked at the leaders of the Dragon Palace. Rest assured, Dragon King. We're well prepared and will win beautifully. The leaders of the Dragon Palace said confidently. All right. Wang Xian smiled and nodded his head. After which, he chatted with Prime Minister Turtle about the future development of the Dragon Palace. They're here. More than an hour later, Tianjin, who was standing beside Wang Xian, looked at the compass in his hand and said, They're here? All the members of the Dragon Palace squinted their eyes and looked ahead. Wang Xian squinted his eyes as he stared at the 5 great devil dens flying towards them at a terrifying speed with his yin-yang 5 elements dragon eyes. The strength of each of the 5 great devil dens was almost double the strength of the one they were in now. From the devil dens, there was a horrifying murderous aura. The aura was suffocating. Get ready. Wang Xian waved his hand. Berserk Dragon Species. Imperial Dragon Species. Starwood Dragon Species. Earth and Lightning Dragon Species. Spike Dragon Species. Venom Horn Dragon Species. Devouring Dragon Species. Fire Hammer Clan. Roving Heavens, Roving Phoenix, Orochi, and the rest of the leaders shouted. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Strong and seething battle will and horrifying dragon might charged forward without concealment. One by one, the powerful dragon species flew out of the devil dens and stared at the 5 great devil dens. Inside the devil dens, the members of the arrow dragon species and the dolphin species stood in a row at the back. Wang Xian stood in the middle with the unbeginning sacred wings on his back. A strong battle will gushed out from his body. He had just broken through and was going to test his strength on this group of demons. Chapter 2963, Great Battle, Chi Mei Region vs. Dragon Palace. Next, roar roar roar. In the void above the devil region, battle intent soared to the sky. The roars of the Dragon Palace members shook the heavens and earth. All the members were filled with killing intent as they stared at the 5 devil lairs in front of them. The 6 leaders of the 5 devil lairs located at the entrance of the devil lairs had already noticed the members of the Dragon Palace. Hearing the roars of the members of the Dragon Palace, the 6 leaders immediately raised their heads. Their eyes were filled with tyrannical killing intent as they responded angrily. In the next moment, all the devils around them roared as their bodies tensed up. Their blood-red eyes stared at the members of the Dragon Palace. Inside the devil's den, their glowing blood-red eyes looked exceptionally frightening. At this time, the 6 Fifth Order God Emperor realm leaders flew out of the devil lairs and exchanged glances. Sensing the strength of the entire Dragon Palace, drool dripped from the mouths of the leaders. Gradually, excitement appeared in their eyes. After devouring a large amount of flesh and blood, these devils could also evolve rapidly. They did not sense any threat from the members of the Dragon Palace in front of them. Without any threat, they could kill and devour wantonly. One of the devils in the center couldn't help but roar. Countless devils flew out from the devil lairs behind him and charged towards the Dragon Palace. GGGA. The other 4 leaders roared in unison and gave the order to attack. The rest of the fiends began to move. Countless devils charged towards the 1.8 million members of the Dragon Palace. Little ones, get ready. Fight, fight, fight. At the forefront, the group of Dragon Palace leaders roared with excitement when they saw the devils charging towards them. Fire! Mao Zisen, who was the arrow dragon at the back of the devil lairs, shouted when he saw the devils entering their shooting range. Release the sound waves, support! The current leader of the dolphin race shouted at the tens of thousands of men and women of the dolphin race. Wang wang wang! Waves of unique sound waves rushed forward. The power of the sound waves made all the Dragon Palace warriors' blood boil. Their eyes were filled with fighting spirit and calmness. Voila! At this time, the leader of the dolphin clan waved his arm, and drops of crystal-clear liquid containing rich vitality floated in the void in front of him. This was no ordinary liquid. It was the vitality liquid from the moon bay of the ancient pond. After the progenitor tree leveled up, vitality fluid was produced at a very fast rate. Currently, there were still a few thousand liters of vitality fluid in the Dragon Palace. As a supreme treasure for healing injuries, a drop of vitality liquid could directly heal minor injuries. Now that the Dolphin clan controlled the vitality fluid, they could provide support at any time. Jia jia jia, it's starting. Little ones, show them the power of our venom horn dragon species. When the members of the Dragon Palace saw hundreds of billions of evil demons swarming towards them, the Orochi duo looked excited and shouted loudly. They were the first to bear the brunt of the attack. With a swift movement, they flew toward the demons and locked onto their targets. In the sky, the arrows of the arrow dragon species whistled past. Devouring dragon, kill. The rest of the leaders immediately gave the order to attack and roared loudly. Boom, boom. All the members of the Dragon Palace moved as well. A violent aura rushed towards the evil demons. The terrifying dragon aura caused the entire army of evil demons to pause for a moment. Let's start the show. The venom horn dragon species that rushed out first was only tens of millions of kilometers away from the evil demons. Orochi let out a loud roar as his body turned into a black line and rushed towards the evil demons. Countless evil demons looked at the members of the Dragon Palace in front of them. They opened their mouths wide and released terrifying attacks. Countless energies mixed together and formed a terrifying energy tide. Swish, swish, swish. Tens of thousands of venom-horned dragons dodged the attacks. In the next moment, they entered the bodies of the evil demons. Very soon, the venom-horned dragons were residing in the bodies of the demons. Their bodies paused for a few seconds before they immediately attacked the demons in the surroundings. In an instant, chaos broke out in several places. In the void behind them, the 6 leaders of the evil demons swept their gaze across the group of venom-horned dragons. Their eyes gleamed coldly. They moved and charged towards the army of the Dragon Palace. Lock onto the 6 leaders of the evil demons and stop them. Prime Minister Turtle immediately ordered from the rear. Mao Zedong, who was at the side, turned his arrow and attacked one of the leaders. The leaders of the Dragon Palace narrowed their eyes. 10 of them charged towards the 6 leaders of the evil demons. Wang Xian flapped his wings slightly and his eyes shone brightly. Instant kill. Wang Xian waved his arm and the 5 elements great grindstone appeared in his hand. Dense 5 elements energy was injected into the grindstone. The entire grindstone was filled with destructive energy. He locked onto a demon that was further away from the other leaders and moved. Extreme speed. He let out a low roar and pushed his speed to the limit. The 2 divine dragons in the Tai Chi dragon coiling around him gradually merged together and spun rapidly around him. Swish!